Hey guys, it's Rick again with another video, and today we have game 10. We already reached 10 episodes of this series. Very nice, going pretty well. And today I'm gonna show you the our last match that we played for the third division. This was a week ago, and yeah, let's see how it went. So I was playing with the black pieces in the second table against Nuno Gonçalves, which is close to 1600, but yeah, 1500 player, strong 1500, and he played e4. I played my trademark Caracan, which I've been playing all this time. Knight c3, d5, and we reach a two knights Caracan, and I like to take on f3 this line and just play e6. So far everything good. I mean, I'm still in my prep and I'm feeling comfortable. So bishop e2 here. Bishop e2 I don't really like. I feel like normally what I see is more like g4, being more aggressive and putting the bishop here. Of course, probably not right now, but at some point developing the bishop here. But I guess bishop is e2 is fine. It's a little bit more passive, but it's fine as well. Um, there's not a lot going on in this position. I just play knight f6. He castled. I played knight bd7. He played d4. I took, and yeah, we traded a lot of pieces. I mean, he went queen d3. I went h6 to stop bishop g5. Just normal move. c3. Bishop d6. My idea with bishop d6 was at some point to go bishop c7, queen d6, try to create some pressure along this diagonal, maybe make him play g3, so like his king side is a little bit weaker. But yeah, so far everything normal. So he goes a4, trying to get some space on the queen side. I just shut it down with a5. He went to rook d1. I went castle. In this position, I thought that I could maybe try to set up for a long castle, but I was like, there's no need to play like that, honestly. Just short castle, play it normal. Queen f3, here threatening some stuff. If I move the queen, for example, to to b6 or something like that, he has bishop takes h6, and after pawn takes, he takes my knight, and he's winning. If I go queen c7, the same idea. So yeah, he always has this threat of taking on h6, followed by queen takes knight when the knight is unprotected. So here I just went bishop c7, just a waiting move, trying to see what he wants to do with this bishop. He still needs to develop it. Just putting my bishop on c7, trying to slowly build that battery, but it was also a waiting move. He went bishop f4 here, which, I mean, shows that yeah, he just wants to trade pieces. Knight d5, queen d2, queen f6. Here, I mean, queen f6 maybe not the best move, but I really didn't know what to do in this position, so I went queen f6. I mean, just activate my queen. G3, didn't really understand g3, to be honest. But I mean, I understand g3 is to stop knight f4. Okay. Yeah. g3, rook d8, queen d3, and here I thought he probably just wants to trade everything, and that's what ended up happening. And yeah, we reached this position. Went rook d6. Don't even remember exactly why, but in the end, I just brought my king up. It took, and here, honestly, like, I probably was like, I don't know, maybe 25 minutes up on the clock, I would say, or a bit more even, maybe 30 minutes, but probably 25. As usual, I when it comes to the opening and even the start of the middle game, I just play way faster than my opponents, and to be honest, I end up getting nice positions most of the time, positions that are pretty good. So I don't think that I really don't spend enough time. Maybe I could spend a little bit more, but after this, I was just like started panicking for no reason, you know. Um, I spent like 20 minutes just on this capture. I was honestly, I felt a little bit scared of going to this end game, which is kind of ridiculous because it's totally equal. Um, I mean, and I'm gonna show you guys what happened. So why did I start getting scared? So my initial thought was just take CD5, but here I was really afraid of B4, and I was afraid of B4 because, I mean, what do I do if I take? He takes, and he gets disconnected pawns, and it's gonna be very tough for me. That's what I thought. Like, this is not pleasant at all. Then I thought, okay, I can go b6 probably. But then I saw takes, takes, and then rook uh, here. And I thought, okay, he's coming here. If I go here, I thought that he could just come here. And I didn't really like this position. I thought this passed pawn would be very hard to stop. Uh, yeah, and I didn't really want this to happen because he could just put a rook behind the pawn, and that pawn is very annoying. So I was like, I'm just gonna take with a rook. Uh, he went rook a3, which then again scared me because it's coming here and he's gonna attack the pawns and stuff like that. And here I spent probably another like 20 minutes. So just in the last two moves, which are so like normal and stuff like that, I spent like probably 35 minutes just in these two moves. I ended up playing king e7, not really knowing what is happening here. Rook b3, and I decided, like, I spent another like 15 minutes. I'm not even joking. I probably, when we go back to bishop takes d5, I probably had an hour and some minutes on the clock, and my opponent probably had like 39 to 40 minutes. And here I just lost all my time advantage here just to play b5 because I was feeling really uncomfortable about this endgame. So I just play b5, you know, takes here, and I thought that he kind of blundered because I get b4 with tempo, but he just goes rook a4. I take, and I play rook c8, just pressuring this pawn. He goes rook a3 defending, and I thought, okay, nice. I'm activating my rooks, like, there's no way I lose this. I'm just gonna, let's just trade the pawns and it's a draw and let's go. And then he played rook c1 and I was like, god damn, what should I do now? Like, I thought, okay, rook b8, not rook b2, but he takes the pawn, so I can't really move this rook out of here. I thought, I thought rook c4, it just brings the king in, and I'm probably not in time, you know? This is probably not good. And yeah, of course, this is not good, because he can't just double here, and I'm screwed. And so I started panicking. I was like, oh my god, my rooks are misplaced, you know, it's probably threatening c4 here, and what do I do about this? Because if he just plays c4, let's say I do king d7, I mean, I thought c4, and here what do I do, you know? If I move the rook, it just takes the pawn, but here even this, I mean, just trade, and yeah, we just trade, pretty much. I can even go here probably, and yeah, it's just a draw. But I got afraid, and I played rook d5, and this is still a draw, still normal. But he played rook b1, and here I was already low on time because I was like, what the hell is going on? I just gave him the file. I'm probably worse now. Like, he's gonna be active, and there's no way I'm taking these pawns for now. And I was like, I need to somehow like pressure this structure. So I was like, e5. And a5 is one of the moves, still drawish, but then he hit me with the rook e1, and here, I mean, here I was like so sad because I thought I just blundered a pawn. I thought that there's no way I just screwed this up. There's no way I screwed this up because I was thinking, okay, I can't take, of course, if I just let's say if I move the king here and he takes, you know, I have to take back. He takes and takes my pawn, so I just lost a pawn. And then I thought, okay, maybe f6 here, but then I thought f4, and what do I do? I mean, it's you got so much pressure on the pawn, like there's nothing I can do, you know, like he just takes, and again, like probably it just takes, and you know, I'm just down a pawn, can't even take there because yeah, it just takes there. uh I saw all of this and I started panicking, and I just wasted a lot of time, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna accept that I blundered this, and uh, I'm just gonna play this down a pawn here. And he played pawn takes. I played rook takes pawn, rook takes pawn, rook, and then he hit me with this, and yeah. And here I just missed the fact that I mean, here he's better after this, apparently, because he can take, and if I go here, oh yes, king e2, yeah. So the correct way to deal with this would be, for example, king e6, and after, for example, takes, I just go uh, rook c to c5, you know, and yeah, I mean, probably after f6, uh, I can go here, for example, and I'm threatening this pawn here, and I'm threatening this pawn as well. So you just trade, and it's normal. But I didn't see all of this. Like, this was way beyond my skill level. Uh, but yeah, I could, if he takes here, I can just do the same. And yeah, I mean, I'm threatening this. If he defends, I'm threatening all sorts of stuff. Here the engine says rook b1, which, I mean, it's just drawish, right? It just gives up the pawn back, and yeah, I mean, this is just drawish. Yeah, and yeah, there's not much to it. It's a complete draw, but I didn't see that I could just ignore this and just play rook e6. I didn't see all of this with f4 and then rook d3 attacking both pawns. I didn't see this, and I just thought I blundered, and there was nothing I could do about it. I would just have to play this down a pawn, and that's what I did. King e6, rook a3, king d5, rook a7, attacking the pawn, king back, check, I go back to d5, he goes back to a7, go back to e6, goes back to a3, I go back to to d5, and here it doesn't repeat the third time. He goes king e2, I go rook c7, just protecting the 7th rank. He goes king d3, I go king c5, check, king b6, rook d5, rook e7, just waiting, and it was something like this. Sorry, guys. And here I was already low on time, you can imagine, and I wasn't really feeling good about the position. Of course, just checked. He went back. Went king c5. He went rook a5, king b6, king b4, and I just went king c6. And here I feel like here like the thing is, I don't know if this happened exactly like this, because I was looking at the at the sheet with the moves, you know, and I just was drunk or something like that. I was like writing half Portuguese, half English, because like, you know, in English you say rook, so you say with the R word, and the R word in Portuguese is used to the king, and you use a T um, for the rook, like T for tower, you know. And I was just mixing everything. I was like putting T to the king, I was putting R to the rook, and instead of the T, and I was mixing everything, and I probably was just like panicking, and I was writing this all wrong almost. Like the annotations are so bad for this game that I did. So I mean, I don't know if it was exactly like this, but it was something like this. I feel like his rook here was here when I did this, and it went here. So not like this, but it goes to show that it's basically the same. And I just try to check, take. And here, I mean, there's a lot of options. Apparently, like this was the most critical one, but I was afraid of rook a7 here, and yeah, I was afraid of this because, for example, if I go here, check, uh, king f7, and he can just take, and apparently this is completely winning for white. I was kind of afraid that if I went rook g6 here, that I would get hit by this. And for example, I'll imagine rook g4 here in king f3. You know, what do I do here? You know, here, but like this is so hard to find with no time, and it's such a hard position. So uh after seeing rook g6, rook a7 with threat of rook a6, I just decided, okay, I'm gonna check. And the king came closer, and here the engine says g5, but it's already +3, you know. But g5 still puts me with chance, you know, probably like hg5, rook g5, and here, I mean, we still have something, but yeah, it's hard, you know. Two pawns. No, it's probably completely losing. Yeah, yeah, very hard, man, very hard. And yeah, I just went here to trade rooks, praying that this would be a draw, but no, this is just winning. But yeah, I was never really drawing, I guess. Maybe some way around here. The engine says that I'm like fine after rook b2, but I don't feel like this was the position, you know? It makes sense, but I don't feel like this was the position. I feel like I wrote this wrong. I feel like I didn't really have this. Um, but yeah, whatever. I mean, it was just this game is just is very weird. Sorry, this one is very weird, but it just shows that this game shows that my endgame skills are horrible. Um, and I need to really work on them, because it's not justifiable to have an hour in the clock and just waste like 40 minutes just on those simple moves, which, yeah, I mean, I really need to work on rook endgames and endgames in general. I never worked on them through my chess career, if you can say that. Never really studied them, so I need to start studying it. And I have a book that I need to read, and I always say that. So, I mean, I don't have excuses. Whenever I lose or I draw and I complain, I don't really complain that much, but sometimes it hurts, you guys know. But every time that happens, I just need to remember that I could be studying way more than I should, and I could be reading the book that I have, which is a really nice book, How to Reassess Your Chess, I think it's how it's called. Just to see how much I'm reading, I don't even, like, I'm not even sure if it's How to Reassess Your Chess or just Reassess Your Chess or something like that. Jesus. That's very embarrassing. But yeah, this was the game, and next video we will cover one of the most intense games that I've ever had. It was a 4.5 hour game with 91 moves. Spoiler alert, that's all I'm gonna say for the spoiler, and make sure to stay tuned for that one. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.